All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division, where we have some new updates from Errol Spence Jr., who's made a public appearance, and Brian Norman Jr. People speculate about Errol Spence Jr.'s weight being too big, and also him signing Brian Norman Jr. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to talk about Errol Spence Jr., who has made an appearance, and fans are complaining. He just recently was seen on Twitter with the WBO world champion, Brian Norman Jr., out in public. And as you can see in this picture right here, Errol Spence Jr. looking happy next to Brian Norman Jr. These dudes looking about the same size. Obviously, these guys have a lot in common, both being world champions at 147 pounds, Errol being a former champion at 147 pounds, Brian Norman becoming a current 147-pound fighter. They both seem to be, guys from the South. No reason to suspect that they're doing anything other than hanging out and having a good time, man. But, far be it from us to just say that is what's going on and appreciate that, guys are out there, kicking it, having a good time. All right, obviously these guys are getting along, but no, we can't do that, right? Cannot do that. What we have to do is we have to continually find bad things to say about people. And in this particular instance, people focus on Errol Spence Jr.'s weight and say, look at how big the guy is. And, if you don't believe me, articles have already been written about it. This particular one came out, and you can see the headline is Errol Spence Jr. under fire for his physique as fans cry, go back to the gym. Man, remember when Errol said that he was doing everything for the fans and working for his legacy, that he didn't want any easy fights, didn't want to get over on fight fans, no tune-up fights for him, none of that stuff. Well, that's what you get, right? No good deed goes unpunished. And that's the only thing that I can think when you see people focusing on stuff like that. And to tell you the truth, it doesn't even look like Errol Spence Jr. is overweight at all. Doesn't look very much bigger than Brian Norman does. Looks taller than Brian Norman does, but doesn't look fat. Doesn't look like you can see his belly or anything like that. Just a bunch of nonsense, man, to try to tear these people down. But, it is what it is. You have, just to show you, we actually have video of, Errol not too long ago when he was working out, where you can there. The dude is, the dude is ripped. It just amazes me, man, how these guys, how they do these guys. But if I'm Errol Spence Jr., I'm not really tripping on it too much. Just hopefully we'll get to see him back in the gym. I mean, with an announcement pretty soon, and we'll know who he's fighting pretty soon. because, the welterweight division and these divisions aren't the same without him, man. But at least for me, he's not. But listen to what these fans say, man. One fan commented, Errol, get back in the gym. Fundora is waiting for you, possibly alluding to the formidable size of Fundora, who stands at 6'6" with an 80-inch reach. Another fan suggested Spence, having relaxed his training regimen after Spence fight, might have naturally gained weight, saying, Errol, Errol looks like he weighs 190 pounds. Now, who in their right mind, man, thinks really truly that this dude looks like he weighs anything approaching 190 pounds in this video, in this particular picture? You cannot see any type of stomach on the dude. You see, maybe, a little bit of musculature to him, but Brian Norman is also a thick dude, man. And you can see that Brian Norman looks bigger through the top than Errol Spence Jr. does. But this isn't something that is unusual. We have seen this, time and time again, man. I've pretty much every time, that Errol Spence Jr. takes a picture, it's these type of conversations. Man, whatever. But anyway, hopefully, though, we'll get to see the Sebastian Fundora fight. Now, the other question was that people were making assumptions or saying that maybe because these guys are together, that means that Errol Spence Jr. is going to consider to be, a promoter for Brian Norman or something like that. Unless you hear something from somebody very, very closely connected to that, I wouldn't go and say that. If you listen to what Brian Norman Sr. said, Brian Norman Sr., no matter what the situation was with Jaron Ennis, that those guys are very, very well compensated at this point in time. And they were going through a developmental phase of their career, and they wound up with a championship pretty quick. But now they're going to be making significantly more money in this next fight that Brian Norman has coming up. I'm not sure what the fight date is for that fight. I know that it is on the undercard of Keyshawn Davis's upcoming fight. So we'll find out about that. But I spoke to Brian Norman Sr., and Brian Norman Sr. said that these guys, that they think that they're going to make a considerable amount of money, a considerable amount of money or more money than they usually do. So, I really wouldn't put any credence on them leaving somebody like Bob Arum to go to Floyd Mayweather Jr., where Floyd Mayweather Jr. really is having, his fighters being managed, the fighter that he has that I know of being managed by Al Heyman. And I just think that, at this point in time, Brian Norman Jr. is a little bit too far, down the road on his career for that. What I'm hoping to see next for Brian Norman, I do not mind this fight that he has coming up. With I can't remember the guy's name, but obviously a far less significant or challenging fight than one that he would have had with the unified champion. I mean, to unify the championships with Jaron Ennis. Definitely not on that level, but it's a fight to get right back in there after he wins his championship. I still think that, he still should have the mentality of a contender, because I think he could, at 23 years old, he could definitely stand to have more tests before he gets in there with somebody like Jaron, even if, he has the WBO World Championship. And I understand that once you have the championship, it's go time. But, I don't think that's something that should be completely ignored when you analyze the problem. Similarly, I had that same viewpoint with Gervonta Davis after he had beaten Pedraza. You could see that their team didn't really think that they were ready for Lomachenko right away after Pedraza, which was way back in 2017. Was that 2017? Tank's been a champion for a long time now. But yeah, I think that was 2017 because 2017 was when Gervonta Davis fought on the undercard of Floyd Mayweather Jr. So yeah, man. But anyway, it's just good stuff, man. I'm happy to see Errol looking good. Brian Norman Jr. is looking good. I don't think, him hanging out with Errol and getting that advice on being a champion, the do's and the don'ts, could all benefit him. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.